welcome
Hi.
to University Electric.
Hi Jim, thank you for having me
Oh,
today.
absolutely. What are you going to be preparing for us today?
I'm making you my favorite dessert, a flourless chocolate cake that just happens to be gluten-free and soy-free.
Oh, it sounds great. Let's head back this way to the demo kitchen.
Great.
I think we've already have some of your materials prepared, so we should be able to get this going relatively quickly. Okay, well here's our demo kitchen, so I'll let you get started.
Great, thank
All
you
right,
Jim.
Thank you.
All right.
Today, I want to show you how easy it is to make a restaurant quality cake from scratch. All you need is a few simple ingredients from your own pantry, a few tips from me, and 20 minutes, and you're going to have a cake that's going to wow your family and friends. So, we're going to make a flourless chocolate cake, which happens to be gluten-free and soy-free. So let's get started on making your cake. I've outlined for you some instructions. You have 10 steps. They're very easy steps. The first one is we're going to preheat the oven. We're going to set it for 350. The next step we're going to do is you're going to have your stick of butter, and this is going to be at room temperature. You're going to get 4 eggs, also at room temperature, and we've got 1 orange, and you're going to use half of this for the orange zest. The next step is to melt some chocolate. I've taken some chocolate, put it in a stainless steel bowl over some simmering water. Now we don't have to watch this right at the moment. This is going to melt on its own. We can start on the rest of the cake while that's melting. So I've got a food processor here. This would be the easiest choice. It's going to be fast. You're going to be amazed how the cake is going to go quickly. But if you don't have this, you can certainly use a stand mixer. So the first item, your stick of butter. I don't think I mentioned in the directions, but if it can be unsalted, that would be best. But if you have regular salted butter, that's okay too. We have our stick of butter and we have our sugar. This is just plain granulated sugar. Some packages that you buy from me may have organic sugar, and it may be a little bit brown in color, so that'll be just fine. You pour the sugar and the butter together, set the food processor, and then we're going to start. And nothing's happening. There we go. So we're going to let this run just a few seconds. If you have a pulse button on your food processor, that would be great. We're going to do a few spins. And there's going to be a lot of scraping the sides. So if you have a rubber spatula such as this, we want to move everything around so that the cake will distribute evenly. The hardest part is just putting the processor back together. So we're going to do just a few spins. So that's step 3. Step 4, we're going to start adding your eggs. Now I know when you get to this section, you're going to take this egg and you're going to crack it right here. If you do this, this is going to get shells possibly in your batter, so we don't want to do that. So my suggestion is we're going to crack it on the side of the counter, and just to make sure there's no imperfections with your eggs, we're going to put it in a separate bowl like this, and one at a time we're going to add the eggs. We're going to let this do its thing for a couple of minutes, and we're going to continue to scrape down the sides. So what we're doing in this step is we're adding air into the batter. This is going to make for a lighter cake. I don't know if you noticed, but there's no baking powder or baking soda, nothing that's going to add volume to the cake. So this step is very, very critical. So let's go with egg number 2. I'm going to put it in just like that. So you can kind of see that it's how well it's incorporating. do egg number 3. So now's a good time to scrape the sides. You'll notice how that it's getting very yellow in the batter, so that's good. It's being incorporated. And then we have one more to go. So as soon as we put this egg in, we'll check on our chocolate. Start that. And here's the chocolate is looking good. You can see there's a few melted pieces, and that'll be fine. Okay. This batter is looking good. Going to take that, just continue scraping the sides, and then we'll be on to step number 5. Step number 5 is the base of your cake. We're going to take the nut mixture, a combination of ground almonds and some ground flourless cookies. We're going to throw this in the batter. Put the lid on. I'm going to give it a few pulses. We're going to scrape the sides one more time. And then we're going to be ready for the chocolate. We're going to turn off the stove, and if your metal bowl is a little bit hot from the steaming water, just use a pot holder, and we're going to dump that right in. So with the rubber spatula, you can see how easy it is to get all the chocolate out, but if you don't have that, a wooden spoon would work just fine. One more time, putting this on. We're going to incorporate the chocolate. And it looks like that's it. The last thing to do before we put the batter in the cake pan is we take the zest of an orange. So here's where, in my directions, I had mentioned you could use a microplane or a box grater. This is what most of you probably have in your kitchen now, so you can certainly use this, but I would use the smallest holes here. You just want the flesh of the orange, not the white part. My favorite tool in the kitchen would be this. This is called a microplane. This is one style, or if you happen to have one like this, either one of these would be great. My preference is this one. So we're going to take the, just scrape the sides very lightly over the top. You can see that the orange zest collects here, and we just dump it into the batter. So for this particular cake, I would use half of the orange, and this is going to add great flavor. If for some reason you didn't want to purchase an orange or didn't have one handy, you can certainly go to the store and buy grated orange peel, but you're going to spend $5 or $6 for that small bottle. Of course, you can use it in other recipes, but why not spend about 50 cents? Have the real thing. We're going to close it up, and one more spin, and that's the cake. This is the batter. We're all set to go. Just scrape it one more time. And now we're ready to fill your cake pan. So I have some suggestions on the cake pan.